Good morning. Alright, so today I'm going to do something differently. I'm going to play another command scenario that I created. And, yeah, so we'll see how this goes. I've played this in a while. I'm kind of looking forward to some of the new features in Command. One of the ones to mention here is the fact that there's a don't cavitate option, which would be useful for a surface group. So this scenario is designed to demonstrate the usefulness of an LCS surface action group if it were to receive one change. Currently both Freedom and Independence class warships are, well, to put it bluntly, undergunned for an actual surface mission, other than keeping gunboats off of larger ships. So what if they were given an anti-ship missile? I think that would change quite a bit, which is why I made the scenario. So let's read here. So we're given two ships, be armed with the ASUW mission module that will allow us to deal with enemy warships at range instead of the Hellfires. And I'm to transit the route of the patrol and not shoot Russians because we don't want to start World War III, but we do want to sink any Syrian ships. And it looks like one of the strengths of the LCS class we will also have with this is the hangar bays. So we will have air assets. Alright, so I've got 12 hours. First thing I'm going to do, I don't have it because it was the old database, I guess. Well, it'd be something I could remake. I've got the speed set to 12, so we shouldn't be cavitating. So that will get us to our patrol route within the allotted time. Now for air assets, looks like I've got one fire scout down for maintenance and one ready to go. And I've got 3 ASW armed helicopters that can sortie 4 times each, so I should be able to deal with anything I detect. And maritime surveillance aircraft should be able to be up at all times. And the maritime surveillance aircraft has a pretty potent camera that should see surface ships approaching. So hopefully no surface ships get the drop on us, because the only air bubble that we have is CRAM, and I would prefer to defend myself against missiles by not getting shot at. Alright, so we started and oh boy. So a fishing boat just radioed in our location and told somebody to fire. Great. Let's get that airborne right now. Get some maritime surveillance going, and now that we see a bad guy, let's get some guns on him. He's point blank range, so I say we get our 57mm guns pointed at him and start shooting. Let's see those in action here. I can bump the speed up. This is a naval battle after all. So that fishing boat's going to be made short work of. Now I'm going to get that fire scout patrolling. And I'm going to send him to max altitude because we want him to see everything that's out there. Now I am concerned that anything could have been shot at us, and we do not know because our sensors are off. Let's get a helicopter out too. Just lay down a few sono buoys to make sure we're not being detected by any submarines right now. Or let's go down to low altitude. I might as well turn on a radar. Actually, the Black Hawk looks like it's detecting things far further out than the drone is. That's why. 200 nautical mile range. So we do have a number of sono buoys on board. We've got active and passive. And I say we just drop a bunch of passive sono buoys along the route that we're taking. Ooh, that's not good. Vampires incoming. Slow it down. So these are going at 1450 knots, so one of these newer, scary anti-ship missiles is coming in. And of course, since we have CRAM, we need to wait till they get a little closer, which is a scary thought. It's already scary at the fact these are firing at us. But the good news is, if everything works out right, they can shoot down a number of missiles before they actually get into range and hit you. Be a lot safer of a window, if you will, if they were harpoons and whatnot. You know, the slower, crappy missiles that aren't necessarily as scary anymore. Alright. Let's go back to 5x. Oh wow, we've already detected a goblin. And probably one of its convergence zones. Huh. Well, either way, I say we go straight towards it, full speed, and figure out what it's doing. But we should stop cavitating. That is one of the new features, is to have a don't cavitate option, which I love the idea. I mean, if you're conscious of submarines, why would you want to cavitate? And it looks like we're doing a good job of identifying hostiles as they're coming towards us. And at a safe space which we could engage them, and they can't quite engage us yet. Got him coming into our range. I don't know his depth. Alright, we see 3 hostiles here. Let's just start picking them off. Now the NSM is a pretty decent missile. It's not long range, but it flies low, and I believe it has a pretty potent IR camera, so there's no emissions coming from it. So all you're going to get is a surface skimmer that, you know, goes at high subsonic speed just straight towards you. Fire enough of them and most targets will die. Although I still think that if you want to blitz air defenses, your best bet's probably something like Brahmos. That's just me. So, oh, I know he's here. And I know he's going to be passing through this way, so see if we could put a active sonar right on the side of his hull. And this guy can really go back to loiter speed now. Still don't even have a depth for him. And I've got a depth. Looks like more patrol boats are getting detected on their way in as well. Fortunately for us, we have air assets to look at where they are. Now let's get this guy surrounded by sono buoys and see if we can identify what it is. That's unexpected. So it would seem that 2 of our missiles failed to kill their target. Here I was talking about how good the NSM was. Well, we'll fire again and see if maybe they just got lucky. I also need to take out these 3. So we can't do all the fancy stuff that missiles do with waypoint routing, but like for the LRASM, but we still have pretty decent missile. So we should be able to go around enemies' air defenses. If these boats even have air defenses. OSA 1 probably does not. Yeah, very point-blank defenses. I just wish I could identify this damn thing. Dropping sono buoys right on top of it, and I mean, what's next? Do I actually need to drop sono buoys physically right on top of it? I guess I will. Contact report. Still nothing. Well, I can always come back to him. I did want to lay some buoys down in this guy's path. Damn it, I want to select the helicopter. There we go. This guy is far enough away from me that I don't think that he's gonna... Oh, he's completely stopped. I mean, I guess I would be too if I were a submarine captain and I was surrounded by sono buoys I knew were pinging me. Either that or I'd dive. Now, one way we could determine what he is maybe the towed sonar array on the LCS ships. Despite them not having any torpedoes, they have a pretty phenomenally good sensor array when it comes to their towed stuff. Oh, don't tell me you're gonna... And there's no way I could redirect this guy. Uh-oh. Shit. Oops. I'm not sure how that missed, but we have one patrol boat left. I'm concerned, very concerned. About hitting civilians. Really not sure how that happened. Whoa, more vampires coming in. It's not good. That probably means we've been detected again. So the patrol boats are all taken care of. But these vampires look like they're off course. So actually, if we don't take them out, they'll probably take out this tanker here. Alright, well that threat's neutralized. I just want to get out of this patrol route pretty fast now, to be honest. It's just this guy here. If I could avoid going fast, I think I'll survive. I'll be more likely to survive. So let's go back down to speed until I deal with him. Oh, I detected another submarine. I could go back towards this guy, or I could just have him go back at military speed and land. I think I'm just going to have him RTB. The good news is we do have a lot of these helicopters, 3 of them, so you can always keep somebody airborne. Now, judging by his course, I think it's safe to say he's after me. He is trying to intercept. They told us to be certain, so I was hoping for identification here. We should really start investigating the other contacts, though. I think I'm just going to send something up. And with the other contacts coming in, I think it's just time I take this guy out. Take him out. Two more goblins to investigate here. I think I could at least clear that part of the patrol route much faster. So I'm actually going to set myself to flank. And then go back down to 12 knots when I get there. See if we can take some of the journey out, because we know it's in this general area. You definitely want to identify. Oops. The good news is it's still afloat. Maybe I'm not in too much hot water for that one. That is another one of those good things about the LCS, is that they are extremely fast. they need to get out of an area or in an area, they can do it. This guy, just drop above the layer. Get a sonar buoy right on his engine. And we'll even put one on his nose. You could really go down the loiter to save fuel at this point. We're just waiting for this guy to be identified. We can get some more sonar buoys while we're waiting. You could even have this guy return to base, and I'll send the other guy up if we detect him. I think I'll do that. Now he could be in anywhere in this direction, so we'll just lay passives until we find him. And I say we slow down as soon as we get there to creep for the time being, just until we can detect him. We're not detecting anything. We don't have a depth for this guy. In the meantime, I'd say we'll just get some sonar buoys along this route. The thing is, this guy must see me, because he's changed his course when I'm clearly cavitating here, and he must hear that. I think that's probably enough of a reason to try and deal with him now. go to creep. Thinking back 10 miles away, I probably should have gone to creep sooner. When I found that guy, I'll drop this last passive buoy and start following him. Am I detecting... Did I detect him from sonar buoys? No. Only the Indianapolis. If he's going in that direction, we could put some passives to either side of him. Just don't know his depth, though. This guy turned towards me. Because he was facing that way as I was going faster. I say you're hostile. Don't try to sneak up on an enemy ship in a war zone when they're looking for subs. Won't end well for you. Now, if this weren't a game, I think if I were a captain, in the interest of avoiding World War III, I would probably drop a bunch of sonar buoys and try to avoid that contact, but oh well. Let's get this guy back to base. And let's drop some passive buoys. Maybe even some active ones to either side of them. Oh, we've identified him as friendly, or neutral. It's in the cooler class. I will leave him alone. We don't want a war with Russia. This guy's still going. Thinking that now would be a good time to get this guy's return to base done so he could be rearmed and sent back up if we need him. And the amount of sonar buoys, I'd be okay going full speed to there and then creeping back along at that point. Oh, that was risky. but at the fact that he did not attack me. Now, if this guy turns in, then we know he's up to no good. Drop active sonar buoys right next to him. He's above the layer. These sonar buoys, I think, have been useless. They're just now starting to detect this guy. This one here in range, not going to do anything. Not going to do anything. Well, that one's out of range before. Ooh, this guy's turning. But it's clear he's gonna miss me, so we'll let him go. Now I'm curious, what if I went to flank speed for a minute? Would he chase me? I'll just get out of here. End the scenario. Major victory. Let's see. They're shooting P-800s at me. That's actually a pretty scary missile. I sunk 6 patrol boats and 2 submarines. And I didn't take any losses. Okay. Overall was alright, I guess. I think since I made the scenario, some sort of change had happened, maybe in 1.14, that identifying submarines became much, much harder, which maybe that's a really good thing that the model has improved. I'm actually looking forward to that prospect, so that should be something to do more testing and investigation on. Alright, I think that's it for now. I'll see you.